Torrential rains caused severe devastation to homes, agriculture, and infrastructure in Guyana. CARICOM and FIFA signed Memorandum of Understanding, and CDMA expands resilient framework in readiness for 2021 hurricane season. Welcome to this week's episode of the CARICOM News Time. I'm Tusan Kim English Francis. Thank you for tuning in. Heartbreaking images are emerging out of Guyana as torrential rains batter the country, transforming communities into swamplands. President of Guyana, Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali, says the country is facing the worst natural disaster in its history, with hundreds of homes and tens of thousands of farms destroyed. May-June rains have caused severe flooding in all 10 of the country's administrative regions. The Civil Defense Commission says regions 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 are the hardest hit. In many communities, boats replace buses and cars as floodwaters cover roads. The Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency, CDMA, with support from St. Vincent and the Grenadines and the Regional Security System, sent relief supplies to assist with the efforts on the ground. The Civil Defense Commission's Director General, Lieutenant Colonel Kester Craig, received the first of 3 shipments of 500 cots from CDMA at the Eugene Correa International Airport on the 3rd of June. He said the donation is testimony that the regional response mechanism is working efficiently, as the CDC was able to acquire the cots within 12 hours of making a request to CDMA's acting executive director, Elizabeth Riley. CDMA, the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency, says it is expanding its resilient framework in readiness for the 2021 hurricane season, which began on the 1st of June. CDMA says a MOU with the Caribbean Alliance of National Psychological Associations will see the introduction of a new technical team to integrate mental health and psychosocial support in its disaster response. Shutdown procedures have been upgraded through the Model Shutdown Project, funded by the Caribbean Development Bank. The agency is also planning to introduce the Resilient Caribbean Young Professionals Development Program to expose young people to the discipline of disaster management in its 19 participating states. The Colorado State University forecast an above-normal Atlantic hurricane season. The Climate Prediction Center of the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration predicted 13 out of 20 named storms, of which 6 to 10 could become hurricanes, including 3 to 5 major hurricanes.
Already, we have witnessed the formation of the first storm, Tropical Storm Anna, on May the 22nd, signaling the 7th consecutive year that a storm formed before the official start of the season on June 1st. As a result of this, the National Hurricane Center issued regular tropical weather outlooks from May the 15th this year, 2 weeks earlier than it did in the past. I, however, want to reiterate that it only takes one event to make an impact, so hurricane preparedness is critical every year, regardless of how much activity is forecast.
Caribbean football scored a winning goal with the recent signing of a landmark agreement between CARICOM and the world governing body for football, FIFA. The CARICOM Secretary General, Ambassador Erwin LaRocque, and FIFA's President, Mr. Gianni Infantino, signed the agreement, which will strengthen collaboration with the aim of promoting sports integrity and social responsibility while furthering the development of football in the region. The CARICOM Secretary General welcomed the opportunity it provides for the youth, in particular, to mix sports and healthy lifestyles.
Among the objectives of this MOU, therefore, is to create a framework for strengthening and further developing synergies and collaboration between the signatories on the development of football in the member states of CARICOM. Further, there will be institutional support for the strengthening of a football program for the physical education curricula in primary schools within the CARICOM region. This is in keeping with our regional endorsement of sport as a development tool to promote positive ideals in individuals, especially as it relates to the inculcation of healthy lifestyles, positive use of leisure time, development of tolerance, and the promotion of peace. The universal popularity of football gives it a unique position to play its part in assisting in that regard.
The FIFA president says his organization also welcomes the chance to further support sports for social transformation in the region.
On behalf of FIFA, I'm really delighted to enter into this memorandum of understanding signed here and there today on the basis of, as you said, mutual trust and in a spirit of a friendly collaboration with the shared objective to improve the quality, the development and the integrity of football in the CARICOM region. So we very much look forward to our strengthened collaboration, the opportunities in working even more closely together. I think that the bright future for football and the Caribbean starts here today.
Leading football figures witnessed the virtual sign-in ceremony, including the president of CONCACAF, Mr. Victor Montagliani, regional football legend Russell Latopi, and the presidents of national football associations of CARICOM member states. The COVID-19 pandemic has further compounded the long-standing inequalities between men and women in relation to employment, health, unpaid care work, and decision-making. Dr. Douglas Slater, Assistant Secretary General for Human and Social Development, set that context as he opened the discussion on issues pertaining to gender in the 40th meeting of the Council for Human and Social Development, COSOD. The virtual meeting was held on the 3rd and 4th of June, involved CARICOM ministers with responsibility for gender, under the theme Strengthening Gender Equality in COVID-19 Response and Recovery in the Community. The Honorable Frankie Campbell, Minister of Social Services and Urban Development of the Bahamas, served as chair of the meeting. Dr. Slater said there was much work to be done together to devise appropriate policy and pragmatic responses to address the challenges and to stimulate resilient recovery in the Caribbean.
I appreciate the presence and support of our colleagues in regional organizations and from the United Nations system, and express our sincere appreciation to you for the important service and support you continue to provide to the Caribbean community through gender and economic assessments to document the impact of COVID-19 on CARICOM and the many ways in which you are providing your expert advice and technical support to member states on the road to recovery. We look forward to your continued partnership and collaboration.
The Caribbean Examinations Council, CXC, celebrated the achievements of the region's youth in its recent award ceremony for outstanding performances in the 2020 regional examinations. Queen's College in Guyana is the School of the Year, with its students Begdish Basad and Zain Ramatar copying the 2020 Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate CSEC and the 2020 Caribbean Advanced Proficiency Examinations CAPE awards respectively. Basad gained 22 grade 1s and 1 grade 2 at the 2020 CSEC examinations, while Ramatar copped 14 grade 1s and 1 grade 2 at CAPE during the 2019 to 2020 period. They both received outstanding awards for performances in natural sciences for CSEC and CAPE, respectively. Leonil Mark of Grenada and Maya Lake of Anguilla won the awards for the most outstanding performance by a male and by a female student in the Caribbean Certificate of Secondary Level Competence, CCL-SC examination. Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda delivered a feature address at the ceremony held at the St. John's Pentecostal House of Restoration Ministries in Antigua and Barbuda. Regional awardees participated virtually from locations in their respective countries.
It is indeed a distinct privilege and an honor to be addressing you, the creme de la creme of young Caribbean minds. And I wish to congratulate you on your very high achievements in the various disciplines. And today's ceremony is testament to the effort that you have placed in your studies. I take this opportunity to also congratulate your schools, the administration, and teachers, and also to shower praises on your parents and or guardians for the effort they too would have put in to ensure that you become high achievers. Strong commendations are in order for the Caribbean Examinations Council for hosting this event today as a way of ensuring that your achievements are given deserved recognition. Indeed, CXC is one of the primary movers and shakers in the region, as it has been tasked with the responsibility to test and validate the learning of our people.
Registrar and CEO of the Caribbean Examinations Council, Dr. Wayne Wesley, and Chair of the Council, Sir Hilary Beckles, also delivered remarks at the ceremony.
I want to say to our awardees and all the students, teachers, parents, who make the decision each day to keep going. You're an inspiration. You have shown a resilience that you may not have even known was within you. We were heartened by last year's performance statistics, which showed that 93.2% of Caribbean Advanced Proficiency Examination CAPE candidates achieve acceptable grades between 1 and 4, which was an improvement over the performance in 2019, 2018, and 2017. In 2020, 94.96% of the Caribbean secondary education certificate candidates achieved acceptable grades between 1 and 3. This was an improvement over 2019 and 2018.
The qualifications you have achieved are recognized both regionally and internationally, as you have heard from our registrar, and you can stand tall as Caribbean citizens with no one greater, no one brighter, no one more invested with talent anywhere in this world than you are. We are proud of that fact. You should celebrate that fact.
The cruise tourism industry in the region has restarted, with Barbados welcoming its first cruise ship for the first time in over 15 months on Monday, the 7th of June. The in-transit call on Barbados by the new luxury celebrity Millennium is part of a 7-night itinerary visiting Aruba, Barbados, and Curacao from the port of Philipsburg, St. Martin. Briefing the media ahead of the arrival of celebrity Millennium on June 5th, the Minister of Tourism and International Transport, Senator Lisa Cummins, explained the health and safety protocols that were put in place.
So, of course, the first and the basic parameter is, of course, the Barbados entry protocols. We already know people are required to come into the country with a valid negative PCR test prior to arrival, 3 days prior to arrival. For ships, it is going to be the same thing. There is testing that is going to be taking place on board the ships that will make sure that people are continually kept safe. And this has been a long process. We have not made the decision to receive cruise ships back to Barbados lightly. It has been over a year of discussions, negotiations, engagement at the level of the CDC, the EU Healthy Sail Guidelines, working through the America's Cruise Task Force, which I've spoken about before, which is, as you know, chaired by the President and CEO of Royal Caribbean, Mr. Michael Bailey, and Prime Minister of Barbados, Prime Minister Motley, and has representation from all of the cruise industry partners around the globe and all of the tourism ministry officials and the port officials in many instances as well from across the Caribbean.
stories, you can visit the CARICOM news site at today.caricom.org or the CARICOM website at caricom.org. Like our Facebook page, follow us on Twitter, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you for watching. Be safe, and I'll see you next time.